Do you believe we have too high of a silver price? You haven't seen anything yet, my friends. I'll dive into that story. Help me out with the thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed for the Pinbacks giveaway. It's coming up this Saturday. You still got time to enter this giveaway. You must be subscribed. You must live in the United States. It's free to ship it to your house. Why wouldn't you want over 5 ounces of collectible silver in your stack? Get a good chance to win. You get a better chance of winning this than the Powerball, which nobody's won that yet. Up to $815 million bucks. Let's just get into it. Silver. Some people are complaining. Maybe not really complaining. Maybe concerned about the high silver price, the high gold price. Friends, we haven't seen nothing yet. We have not seen nothing yet. We know inflation is going up. So let's start there. Let's start with inflation. You know, they think, the government thinks we got about 2.9% inflation. If you really add in how they factor it in, and since the 1970s, we're about 11 to 12% inflation. So where does that take us then? Okay? Where does that take us? Silver's up over 33%. So you get a minus 12%. Okay? You're still up. Silver's done very well. Gold's up over 28%. You get a minus 12% out of that. You've done very well with gold. Platinum's up over 50%. You get a minus 12%. You've done very well with platinum. You bought platinum since the beginning of the year. Where are you gaining money? Dollars, I should say, not money. Because we know this is not money. But we all know this is a Ponzi scheme. This is losing value every single year. But with that being said, where do we go from here? Silver and gold are the only money. That's it. Silver and gold. It's kept up with inflation for the most part. Some people say, well, it's not really done its job. Well, it has done its job. It really has done its job. Should we have higher silver prices? Yes, I still believe we should have higher silver prices. Should we have higher gold prices? If you factor the cost inflation in. Silver and gold has done its job currently. You know, I'm trying to get people to understand this. Silver and gold are the way to go. It's not your CDs. I had an email last night from one of the viewers. Not going to call the viewer out. This viewer was asking, this person had $50,000 in a CD. And it's gonna expire in 8 months. Okay. This person was wondering if their CD is going to go down when the interest rates. Look, most CDs, as far as I know, I'm not a banking expert. I'm not an expert in anything, but most CDs are locked in. So no, you are locked in with your CDs until it comes due again. You got 2 options. You can roll it over, take the new interest rate, or cash it out and go purchase silver and gold or whatever else you want to purchase with the cash. CDs are not the way to go right now. 4%, 4.5%, somewhere up to 5%, depending how long the term is. You're losing inflation, my friends. You're losing the value to inflation. That's where we are. If people realized how much stuff has gone up in dollar terms. You know, I've used the Pepsi indicator. And some people understand the Pepsi indicator very well. You know, I've used that. Use any product you want. I've said that before on this channel. It don't have to be Pepsi. It don't have to be Coca-Cola. It can be any product you eat or drink. Just go back 5 years. Remember what you paid. Look at your light bill now. Look at your home insurance. Look at your car insurance. It's gone up. It's gone up. It's not because silver and gold are going up. It's kept up with inflation. No, that's your best investment, right? It's really not an investment. I don't consider silver and gold as an investment. I don't consider it as an investment because it's really not. It's real money. It's real money. It's been money for 5,000 years. When people start really understanding the concept that we've been robbed, we've been lied to about the dollar, when the people wake up, when the mass people wake up in this country, it's going to be too late. All right? I'm just going to call it as it is. It's going to be too late. The big players are coming in to buying this up now. Look what Saudi Arabia did. We know they bought contracts. They bought paper. Israel has not had that much of a difference with the price yet. When more and more people wake up, we're going to see higher prices. When we see interest rates cut, that means interest rates get cut. I'll say it again. Some people are not going to like these facts. When the interest rates get cut, that means the economy is not good. Okay? It's not good. People are living on credit cards. People are living paycheck to paycheck. I'm seeing it at the shop I work for. Prepare, my friends, because the crap storm is coming down the pipeline. It's just clogged up right now. But when it starts flowing, it's going to stop flowing, and it's not going to stop. We better hope we don't see a lot of interest rate cuts. That's going to drive up inflation. Yeah, we got to protect jobs too. I'm all about jobs. I think we're too far with that. I think, these companies are closing up. They always seem to be closing up. Every time we turn around, there's a new company shutting down more stores. Kroger even. Food stores are closing down. It's a shame what's going on. Inflation is eating us alive. That's what's going on. That's the truth. Look at your light bill. I can tell you about the light bill at the shop. It's gone up $225 in the last couple months. We thought there was a problem with the light bill, and no, the rates have gone up. Here at the house, our light bill's gone up like $40. So where do people get this extra cash to pay who lives on a fixed income? Can't talk today. Where are people going to get it? This is why people are cashing in their silver and gold now. This is how they're going to confiscate it away from you. Raising prices. Then you got coin shops out there that gloat. Want to troll me about stop the melt. But some of these coin shops around there, around the world, around the country, are gloating. They're melting its stuff down every day. Well, it's a shame. It's a shame. Shame on you coin shops. Shame on you pawn shops. I'll say it again. Look, if you really want to stop the melt, we got control over that. As the people, don't do business with the coin shops or pawn shops or melting it down. How about that? That's how we stop the melt too, my friends. Stop doing business with them. They want to gloat. They want to put it out there. Then we got to take action ourselves. We know who they are. We don't need to mention names. We know who they are. Stop doing business with them. Plain and simple. We don't smelt stuff down unless it's really, really bad. That's how we do business. We're some of these coin shops, I hear different videos out there. No one's buying 90% silver. Really? I call bullshit on that. That's what I call. Excuse for the language, but that's how it is. It's not true. When you see channel sponsor Pimax out of quarters, when you see J.M. Bolin this past week out of Franklin hats, out of silver dimes, what's really going on? What's telling you that people are not buying 90% silver? We're buying 90% silver. We're selling 90% silver. That's where it is, my friends. I mean, at times it could be a little bit more buybacks. People are suffering out there right now. But I'm going to say this, not leave you with this yet. If only sell, especially if you have a coin shop very local to you. And I'm not saying you're going to drive miles and miles. It depends on your location. Okay? It depends on your location. If you have a coin shop local to you, and you're not driving miles and miles to it, then only sell what you need for that time. Play the market, my friends. Use the coin shop like you would go to the bank to get cash out of the ATM. It's just a pit stop. You know, you got to make that as a plan. You don't want to sell it all at one time. You don't want to sell mass amounts, because if you sell it today, the price could be up $1 tomorrow for silver. The price could be up $50, $60 for gold the next day, and you would have had a little bit more meat on the bone on the back end of it. Nobody knows where prices are going every single day. That is the key right there. You want a good deal right now. I'm going to tell you where you can get a good deal right now. Channel sponsor Pinbacks. Peace dollars, 40 or more. The last price, and this could change without notice due to the market conditions. They were $32.75 each for 40 or more. Check them out. Let them know that Coin Shop Chris sent you. We are actually a quarter higher. We raised our prices by 50 cents per coin. So we're a quarter higher than Pinbacks right now. We're a quarter higher than one single Morgan dollar from Pinbacks right now. We have had to up our prices. We have not up our buyback prices yet. So that means instead of making $1 per coin, we're making $1.50 per coin right now. That buybacks could be ticking up next week. We don't know yet. We're going to see how the market is the rest of this week. We're doing everything we can for the people to get them the highest price possible. If we have buyers out there, we're going to pay up for the product. That is how we run the shop. We're not smelting the stuff down. So thank you, channel sponsor Pinbacks, for running this special again on the Peace dollars. My friends, it's a good price still. Yeah, we've seen them tick up a little bit. And they're going to tick up even more. I'm just giving you guys a warning right now. Prices could change after this video comes out. It's tricky. Trying to do the right thing. And trying to take care of all the customers that come to the shop. It's not easy sometimes. Okay, it's not easy. I understand. I gotta put, sometimes when you get a upset customer comes in, we have to realize, put ourselves in their shoes, get across the other side of the counter, listen to their story sometimes. Yeah, sometimes they want to call us names. It's fine. I'm thick-skinned. I can handle it. I understand the concept of being ripped off. But the people on the other side of the counter, I'm not saying all of them. There's a select few, but it's fun to talk about the people that are worked up. It's fun to talk about that. Because it's quite amusing sometimes. People get worked up for nothing. They thinking we're ripping people off. No, that's not the truth at all. But sometimes you gotta explain to people, look, this is what's in front of me. This is my offer. This is the market right now. I can't pay you what you paid in 2023 for your 90% silver. The market's not there. The premiums are not there right now. And let me just say this about 90% silver once again. Just because you bought it at a higher price, that does not mean you're going to get that price. You want that price, sell it on eBay. You're not going to even get it on eBay right now. You got to go with the market conditions. 2023 was a weird time. 90% silver went through the roof. And people get teed off because the prices didn't stay up. But silver was a lot lower. If you look at where silver is now and where it was in 2023, you had a lower silver price in 2023. But you had a higher premium. The premiums are about the same, maybe a little bit cheap in some places. Because I've seen high as 35 times face in 2023 at some online dealers. Not going to say, we know who they were. It wasn't Pinbacks, that's for sure. But we know there were some of these online dealers were way overpriced. Some of them still way overpriced. But that's means you got to shop around. This is why it's crucial to build a relationship with your local coin shop. That's crucial in this market. Make friends with your local coin shop. Make friends with channel sponsor Pinbacks. I've heard many of you in email or in the comments. You talk to Michael, you talk to Brian, and you always say to me, they're good guys. I've been telling that since February 1st, since they've been sponsoring me. Yeah, they are good guys. They do a hell of a job. They care about their customers. That's what you want in this business. You know, find yourself a good coin shop. And you know what? Yeah, we're on Stop the Melt. We got to put the pressure on. Yes, it's legal to melt this stuff down, which it shouldn't be. We talked about this before too. This is my passion right here. 90% silver. Morgan, Peace, dollars. Yes, they're 90% silver too, but they got a little bit more of a premium on them. We got to stop the melt. We got to stop the melt today. So if you really don't want stuff to get melted down and you need to sell, and you got that much of a passion as me, sometimes this is not possible to do it for everybody. And I understand that. So I'm not blaming the sellers out there. The blame goes to the coin shops and pawn shops that are actually melting this stuff down. Well, I want to make that crystal clear. But if you have that coin shop that don't give a crap about melting stuff down, and that's your only coin shop, then you're pretty much stuck, which is a shame. Shame on those coin shops. Shame on those pawn shops. You know, just don't do business. If you got another coin shop in your local area that don't smelt this stuff down, then go to that person. That's the way we got to try to control to stop this melt. Pick up the phone. If you think you're getting ripped off by your local coin shop, call up channel sponsor Pinbacks and see if they can beat the price. They're buying right now, my friends. Just pick up the phone and call them. If you think you're getting that ripped off and you need to sell, but keep in mind, it's going to be about a week to 10 days before you get paid out. By the time you ship it to them, they get it dropped at that location. They got to test everything. They'll advise you. Your check's on the way, or whatever, how they do it. Maybe direct deposit. Find out what they're paying. If you don't need the cash right off the bat. If you know you need the cash ahead of time. That's the best way to go. Price around. Call around. I'm trying to help everybody out there to get the best price possible. Every section of the country is different. We're pricing. You know, you might live in New York. You might live in California. You're going to see some wacky prices. You might live in Washington State. Washington State's going the wrong way. They're adding taxes at the beginning of the year to precious metals. It's a shame. It's a shame what's going on in Washington State. We got to be careful with everything we do. We got to prepare. And if we don't, if the ones that don't have silver and gold are going to be poor. That's the thing in the nutshell right there. And there's many people are going to fall in the trap of the stablecoin crap. And the government's going to know everything you bought. They don't want this around. They don't want 90% silver. They don't want us owning silver and gold. They're not coming after it. They're going to raise prices on services and goods so high. People are going to be forced to sell it off. And more of it may be smelted down, unfortunately. And I'll leave you with this, though. Don't think for a moment that your 90% silver is going to be worth more the less is out there. That's not true. Whatever the silver dime weighs, you take 14 dimes, that's an ounce of silver. Still an ounce of silver, no matter what the price is. Still in an ounce of silver. So if the premium shot up 10% today, and silver is right around $39 today, Technically, that silver, that was 14 dimes, it's worth 39 bucks. Premiums you won't get back right off the bat until silver catches up with that premium price the time you bought it. It don't work that way. It does not work that way. It's all about the premiums. You gotta be mindful of that. So when you buy it today or convert today, how long is it going to take you before you reach that 39 and change threshold where silver price is today? That's what we need to think about. You know, when I got a lot of my silver back in 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, like these ABC silver bars, I got these back on February of 2024. I paid from eBay, an online dealer on eBay, $250, a little over $250 each. I got 2 of them. I've shown the paperwork on this before, for the ones that have been around. I can show it again, but I don't have it in front of me. I got 2 ABC, these are the Australian bars. They were $250. Silver that time was about 22 bucks an ounce. So I paid a $3 premium on them. Well, silver's $39 today. I've done quite well, but you got to take the inflation into consideration. How well did I do? I may be up 10% after you count inflation in. That's where you got to be the mindset at. And with some of these channels saying, oh, you only need this much silver and gold to be rich. You're going to get rich off silver and gold. No, they're lying to you. All right, they're just lying to you. You're not going to get rich off of silver and gold. Sorry. Silver and gold's never made anybody rich. Is never made anybody poor. Is keeping up with the times. Now, if you have a lot of it, silver and gold, depending on the time you sell it, yeah, you can, but you got to think about inflation. That is what, it don't matter how many ounces you have. That don't matter. It's about your inflation, the way you live, the way you spend cash. That is where we got to be, my friends. I'm trying to get this so people can understand. You know, if you have 1 million ounces of silver, yeah, you done pretty good. Maybe you did get rich because you have more ounces. The more you have, the more you're going to make. But it don't mean make you rich. It's protecting the wealth you already have. That's all silver and gold's ever been there for. And that's just the truth. I'd like someone to prove me wrong with that one. If you folks have any questions for me about silver, gold, or platinum, reach out to me. I'm here to help you. I'm not no expert. But we got to stop the melt. Because that really teased me off. Stop the melt of a 90 today. Stuff is beautiful stuff. Coin Shop Chris is out. We'll see you this afternoon.